The good Lord will always provide for us. But it's a Southern tradition to eat
Avery,
some good old
you're
black
way
eyed peas
overdoing it,
on New Year's
sis.
Day. So we just keep that tradition, even though we don't really care for black eyed peas. But we still do that with some ham hocks and some good old cornbread and some greens on the side. So let's make us some old fashioned black eyed peas. Welcome to Whippoorwill Holler. I'm Miss Lori, and this is Mr. Brown. We live in the hills of Arkansas. We love the Lord. Keepers of the old way, but accept some of the new. We love to cook, and we love to eat. We love to garden. It's in our blood. It's how we stay sustainable and fill our pantry. We do a lot of canning and preserving. We live a sustainable life. We love our family. We work hard. And every once in a while, we like to dance. So y'all join us. I'm just going to be making a little pot of black eyed peas for two. There may be a little bit left over. This is my favorite black eyed peas, or really any of the dry beans. This is my favorite brand. I've got me a ham hock that I pulled out of the freezer. And we're just going to make us a small pot because one thing, it's not our favorite thing, and another, it's just me and Mr. Brown going to eat them. First thing we're going to do is just dice up a half of a medium onion. Anything worth eating always starts with the onion, especially a sauteed onion. But this is going to be just a simple little pot of black eyed peas. I do have a wonderful recipe for Blackeye Pea Gumbo that I done a video on about 5 years ago, so please check that out. First thing I did was rinse my black-eyed peas, and now I'm going to let them soak for about an hour. We're just going to kind of pick through the beans that don't look so good right now. We're not big black-eyed pea eaters, and but we always want to eat a handful. Well, you can see the sun shining coming in my bedroom window. I want to take this time while I'm in here by myself and the grandkids ain't running around um, hooping and hollering. But I want to thank everybody so much for all the gifts and cards and letters. I mean, y'all have blessed us so much, and I thank y'all. I've had handmade quilts and rugs, afghans, antique lamps, cookbooks, towels, hand towels, some beautiful linen napkins that were sent to me that I've got uh, folded up for special occasions. I love the hand linens that we're using now a lot instead of using so many paper towels. So that was a beautiful gift too. I was giving them a while back, a bunch of them too. But just so many gifts, and we appreciate it. And I want to thank everybody for supporting me on my cookbook, my second cookbook, and the orders are still coming in, and I appreciate that so much. So, if you're wanting to order just that easy cookbook, the information is down below the video, and everything's always down there for you just check out. If you need a link to something or how to get my cookbook, how much they are, or a recipe or whatever, everything's down there. So, anyways, I just want to get it on here and just thank everybody while I had time because I just feel like we're so blessed all the time with such kindness. Um, the gifts just humble us. Y'all work so hard on these gifts and just put so much thought into them. Um, I got some handmade gifts, Christmas gifts that, you know, The mailing system right now is just it's just, I'm not going to say it's messed up, but it's just not what it used to be. So some of them gifts, Christmas gifts, I got after Christmas. But believe me, I've got them put up and I will be using them next Christmas. And that will be here before you know it, just like this Christmas was. It just kind of snuck up on us. And I think that's why, I just had to slow myself down because it seemed like these holidays just come upon us so fast. And so you just kind of had to ease yourself into it. But anyways, I just want to thank y'all so much from the bottom of our hearts. And I want to thank y'all for the prayers and y'all understanding, Mr. Brown being in, taking care of his mom. Y'all have prayed for her and asked about her. And she is doing fine, but, it's probably going to get to the point. Now, the thing of it is, a lot of y'all say y'all put some cameras in the house and outside the house. So we do have cameras there. In fact, Danny's the one that put them up so that he can watch her at night, because they stay with her late at night. But she still likes enough of her independence that she wants to go to bed and she wants to do it herself, and she wants to arise in the morning in her own home and feed her cats and start her day. She does know enough to do that. So until that totally goes too, they're not having to stay totally through the night with her, but they are there early in the morning and stay late at night till she goes to bed. And then we turn the cameras on and we watch her. So it may get to that point, though, that they will have to start staying all night with her. But, as long as she still wants just that little bit of independence, you've got to give it to them. You can't just totally take it away from them. But right now, she's doing fine. So anyways, I wanted to thank y'all so much for just loving us and supporting us, because y'all know how much that we love y'all. And anything that we can do, just a prayer, just knowing how much you're loved, and just to talk to, we're always here. I got some really neat books too, and I talked about starting to do some reading, and I had a big response to that. Yes, Miss Lori, we want to go with you through the books that you have and read to us. We love to be read to, because y'all know Miss Lori, I've talked about I love to be read to. And I like it when Danny reads to me, especially out of the Bible or something like that. But y'all said that y'all love to be read to, so I'm going to start that. But anyways, I've already got one book that I know that I'm going to start with that I think y'all are absolutely going to love, because when my friend sent it to me from New York, and I opened that box up, and there was just some really good books in there and stories and stuff like that. So I want to do that for you. So anyways, let's get back to cooking some black-eyed peas. I've got a house full of grandkids with me, so you're going to hear them in the background. And you may see them running around the house a little bit. So I'm going to be doing a voiceover since I've got all these kids in here, because they'll be wondering who Nanny's talking to. So I got my little pot here on my wood cook stove, and I'm going to be cooking them on the wood cook stove, just because we got it. It's good and hot this morning because it's been so cold, and we've really got a good fire going. So let's saute the onions up first. Now, y'all have heard me say more than once that me and Mr. Brown are not big Blackeye Pea fans, but we will eat a handful or so, not because we believe that it brings us good luck and prosperity, because we believe that all good things come from the Lord, and that's just our beliefs. But this is a Southern tradition, so we just, we're Southerners, so we do it. But this is just a simple, everyday, old-fashioned pot, little pot of black-eyed peas. So simple, and you probably got what you need. If you don't have a ham hock, maybe you got a hog jowl. Maybe you've got some smoked bacon, whichever, or maybe some ham. It'll work just fine. But I'm just going to do about 8 ounces of my dried peas that I've soaked for about an hour in with the ham hock. Got my sauteed onions in there. And I'm going to use, instead of water, I'm going to use some chicken broth. But you can use whatever you want. If you'd rather just use some water. I've got a little bit of chicken broth here. It's about 4 cups for this little pot. If you're making a bigger pot, if you're doing a whole pound of dry beans, use about 8 cups of some kind of liquid. And that should be plenty. We just want enough to cover the beans and make enough juice for the beans. I'll be making some little cornbread muffins here in just a little bit. A little different take on some cornbread muffins. I've got a little bit of honey in them and some green chilies and just different things that makes them so good. And it's just enough, a recipe just enough for 2 with maybe just 1 or 2 left over. So this is a good cooking for 2 Blackeye Pea video, but you can also double this recipe. So I'm going to put about a half of a can of green chilies in here, but you put as much as you want because you might like it a little bit more heat. And the rest of it in this can I'm going to put in my cornbread muffins. I've had the grandkids for a few days, and they're going to stay most of the week with me. So the house, you know, has been pretty busy. Today I'm going to be making a big pot of spaghetti, and that's going to be their supper because they don't care for Blackeye Peas either. So we got our garlic. I put a teaspoon of garlic, minced garlic. We got everything in here. So what I want to do is just let it cook here. It'll take longer on the wood cook stove. It'll probably take a couple of hours. Just regular stove, it'd only take about an hour or so for Blackeye Peas to cook. Below freezing this morning. I'm going to check my cabbage. Whoops, my finger's in the way. I'm a little bit afraid it might have got bit, but let's see. I think it looks okay. Can y'all see? I don't want to uncover all of it. Y'all can hear the grandkids in the background. They've been with me a few days. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. I might have to take the tool off of it. But, I mean, they're trying to go ahead and grow, making little heads, but they don't know what to do. One night it's 17 degrees, and next night it's 42, next day it's 78. They don't know what to do. But they're trying to survive. Kids are having a good time. What are you doing, Hank? What's it doing, Hank? What's it doing? What's it doing? What's it doing? What's it doing, Hank? Come on. Okay, let's make us some good old cornbread muffins to go with our Blackeye Peas. We're going to start out with a cup of just yellow cornmeal. And we got 1/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. The cornmeal is like a medium ground cornmeal, but you can get a fine ground if you want. We're going to put 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And if you wanted to make this recipe just using your self-rising cornmeal mix, you can do that too. It would probably take about 1 1 1/4 cups of your self-rising cornmeal mix. So I'm just going to mix up my dry ingredients. It's not that we hate Blackeye peas, it's just not one of our favorite things. So I've got 1/2 cup of whole milk. I'm going to beat 1 egg in here with my milk. I know it's funny. Well, why are you making a video doing Blackeye peas? Well, because it's just one of them traditions. And usually every year I do some kind of a Blackeye pea recipe. And I decided this year I'm just doing just a regular old everyday Blackeye peas. And I wanted to just do a small pot. Now I've got 1/4 cup. This is Mexican corn that you can buy in a can. I think, I don't remember what brand it is. Now I'm going to put the rest of these green chilies in here too. But that Mexican corn is green giant, I think. And I'll put the rest of it in the freezer for another recipe. So let's go ahead and add our egg and our milk. We've got 1/4 cup of runny honey. This is going to make it not too sweet, but just give it a good taste. You can leave the honey out if you want to. Then we just need about 3 tablespoons of melted butter. We're just going to mix this up real good. I've got my oven heated to 400 degrees. And I'm going to be using my silicone muffin mold I've got here. It does really well baking muffins, corn muffins, any kind of muffins up. They don't stick at all. You don't even have to spray the silicone muffin molds at all. They don't stick. They pop right out. And your muffins don't tend to get too dark on the bottom either. I just stick them here in my regular muffin tin just to keep them from spilling out or falling over or anything. So this should make about 6 big cornbread muffins. You could add some shredded cheese in here too if you wanted to. And if you didn't want the green chilies and corn in there, you can make these muffins. This is just a honey muffin, corn muffin, with just your honey and the other ingredients, but leave out the corn and the green chilies. And this is, you know, a small enough recipe that it's not going to make a huge amount, so you won't have too many left over if you're just cooking for 2 or 1. If you're just cooking for 1, these freeze really well. I don't think they'll stay good more than probably a couple of months. Bread tends to dry out in a freezer if it stays in there too long, especially cornbread. I always put my leftover cornbread in the freezer for making chicken and dressing. So I'm just going to come back and start filling the rest of them up to the top. And you'll have 6 pretty good size muffins. Just enough. Mr. Brown would probably eat 2. I probably eat 1, but got enough left over, like I said, to eat the next day. Share it. Put it in the freezer, whatever. So there we go. It's about that easy. 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes. We love our cornbread here in the South, but we also love cornbread muffins. Look how pretty these are. You can see the red pepper in there, the green chilies. They smell so good. They're going to be delicious with them Blackeye Peas. It's a good recipe. Okay, our Blackeye Peas are done. They've been cooking for about 2 hours. And I took the meat off the ham hock. Ham hock meat's kind of gristly. So I took off what was tender. And you see how good and cooked. Look at the good old roux in that pot of beans. So that's just enough beans, Blackeye Peas, for me and Mr. Brown to have for a couple of meals. It's a good recipe. Okay, guys, I got to digging around in the archives and I found an old video of Mr. Brown making homemade butter.
I'm sure most of you probably have done this at one time in your life, taking cream off top of milk. It brings back a lot of memories. And those of you that have never maybe took cream off the top of fresh cow's milk, this is what it looks like. You can see here in this jug the depth of the cream. And you just take the top part of it off, the cream, until you get down and start getting in the milk. And I like to leave a little bit of cream in the milk, shake it up before you drink it. But we're going to be making some butter, and I love fresh cow butter. Oh, it looks like we got about 1.5 quarts. It was probably, I don't know, close to 2.5 gallons of milk. For sure 2 gallons. And we got 1.5 quarts of cream. So that Jersey cow is really putting out some cream. And we're going to be making some butter. And you can see here that I'm having to drink some fresh milk because it is so good and cold and good. Man, that's good. Alrighty, we're getting ready to make some butter. Laura bought this butter churn a few months ago, and we haven't used it yet. Where we had been buying our milk, they had to let the cows dry up for a few months to get ready to refresh, to have calves and get ready to milk again. So I've got about 1.5 quarts in this jar. This jar here is not the original jar to this churn here. It's an old coffee jar, but it fits it good, and it was the one that was with it whenever she purchased it. And I took it apart last night and put a little oil and a little bit of grease in there, and I got it where to whirl pretty good. And we're going to see if it'll make butter, because we've never used it. But if you don't have a hand churn, you can actually do it with a quart jar, working it back and forth on your knee. I've done it many times when I was young growing up. You can actually put it in a, what's that called, dear? You use sometimes? A blender of some type?
Yeah, my KitchenAid.
Like a KitchenAid blender. If you don't have nothing else. It takes a while to do it in a jar if you're working it back and forth. I used to sit, no telling how many hours when I was a kid growing up, and do that. But we're going to see if it'll make butter. It looks like it's whirling it pretty good.
Now, I've also made butter with whipping cream bought it.
Yeah, you just buy whipping cream, yes.
Yeah, I've done that.
You can make butter with store-bought whipping cream. That's what I use in my coffee a lot.
Yeah. How long do you think that's going to take?
Probably till my arm gives out. It's probably going to be like churning, cranking ice cream.
Yeah. I guess I might help you here a little bit.
But we're going to do it, see if it works. Alrighty, we've been doing it for about 10 minutes. or an hour. I think it's just 10 minutes. But I'm gonna tell you a story. When I was young, I don't know, I was young once. I don't know, I was 13, 14-year-old, I believe. Went up to the barn to milk the old Jersey cow. And she was being a little bit contrary that day, and I usually put my head right up in her flank and reach under there and milk her and kind of hold my head in her flank there. And this particular morning, had my head in her flank and I was milking. And I don't know, she decided that she was going to kick, and she kicked. She cow kicked and caught. I was sitting in a little chair, and she caught underneath that chair and knocked me plumb backwards. Knocked the milk bucket forward, and then she stepped inside the milk bucket. Milk went everywhere. Needless to say, wasn't no fresh milk that morning, because it run it all.
How long you been churning?
I've been churning 3 hours, I think, but about 12 minutes. It's got a little froth to it, but we'll see.
I'll take over here.
When it gets to making, it'll make it pretty quick. All right, we finally got butter, and it took a little longer than normal. It probably shouldn't take about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, but I was impatient and didn't check the temperature of the milk. It should get about 65, 70 degrees before you probably really start. But we got butter. Look at that pretty golden butter. And now we're going to take and put it in a cloth probably, and then we're going to work the whey out of it.
Well, the first thing we're going to do is rinse it.
Well, we're going to rinse it, then we're going to work the whey out of it. But we're going to have some butter. So we rinsed it in real cold water, and it's starting to soft up again. We squeezed most of the whey out of it, and we're going to put it in this butter mold. Maybe. What's pretty, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
Add just a little bit of salt to it.
What'd you add? Just a couple of pinches of salt?
Just a couple of pinches, not much. I can eat it without salt. But
Well, salt, it's a preservative too, so. So you ended up with what, about a cup of butter?
yeah, looks like it. We're going to put this in here, and we're going to turn it upside down. And a little bit of whey, if there's any little bit left in there, it'll drip down the bottom of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put it in the refrigerator, and there it is. Butter. Good butter, look here.
Gonna be, it's gonna be good on them biscuits.
Gonna be good. Put our butter in this butter bell, and this is to keep it where you can keep it out and keep it room temperature and keep it from getting hard. And inside here we've got water, and when you put this bell down in there, first off you make sure your butter is in there good and tight, and when you put it down in there, the water is going to come up over the edge of this rim, up the side of it just a little bit. And that's going to keep it fresh. That's going to keep air out of it. It's going to keep this stuff out of it, or whatever. But I mean, it's going to keep it, that way you keep it in room temperature. And then when you just pull this out, get your butter out, and you can put it back in there. And we're going to give it a try.
Well, guys, I'm going to end this video with y'all looking at my primitive dollhouse that I always wanted as a little girl. But now that I have one, my own grandkids can enjoy it, and I hope they do. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Bye-bye for now.